Good evening, Alex.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Sorry, I think I missed a step in the setup in the last broadcast. But I have a bunch of questions that I have here. I hope they go
Yeah.
in line. And let's wait for these guys to come back on out to get the maso.
Kale, tewali buzibu. Arthur, can you see me?
Hello?
Can you see me?
No, your camera is off. I thought it's you who did it. Your
No, no,
camera
no,
is
no,
off.
no. Let me log out and then I join in a minute because I think someone tried calling me when everything was okay, so it distorted that.
Yeah. Hi guys, good evening. So Alex is coming back to join us. Kasule Ramadan kandikedezeka esikano. I'm trying to make sure that I'm cool enough, yeah. Abanyebugu mulingi ebweru, I don't know the people that don't have AC ba managing batya. Kasule Ramadan, Viola Namiro, J Sekaja, Karachi Lena, the Chintu Farms, Dr. Kasule Matia VIP, J Sonic Group, Chamba de Hannington, Paul Seba VIP, Nuamanya. Thank you guys. Abali Mukamoli namu wa Demutu Ekwese. Welcome. Ronald Muchua, good evening. Let's give you guys one more minute for more people to join us so that from today we are talking about government bonds and unit trusts. Yeah, it's the places where you guys can put your money. And also today, Alex is going to share his contacts directly with you. And Alex, you mentioned somewhere, I saw in one of your handles, you mentioned that government now is asking people to buy bonds. Alex, that would
No, Ngulira. It's just that
you
I'm
did, right?
monitoring you on I'm monitoring you on two screens.
But you mentioned that, right?
Yes. It's not like the government is asking people directly. I think that is a misrepresentation. And kakirete bwe kiti gavumenti yaffe tesolooza musolo gumala oba twagala oba tetwagala ne bwe banaakinywa batya the business people, they will never get enough money. So and in the previous years they have always used the treasury bonds to top up okwewola ng'abantu ffenna lw'obeera nga omusala gwo tegumaze and you have to borrow let's an extra 300k nekutambuza mu mwezi oguddako until you get another salary and you pay back. The only thing that is happening right now is previously treasury bonds, they were being sold to the banks mostly. So banks ejja kujja kwa ize naawe tugule deposits za mitwalo oteke emitwalo gya 3 mu banka nange nteke abiri banka yekwate kaana egende ewole government and then efuna amagoba nze ereme kumpaako bwe mpeyo 1 or 2%. So all of a sudden it's actually, let me call it, it's even an individual initiative for a few people. For some of us who worked in this industry, who have been seeing how this works, where we're starting to say, hey guys, there is some oil here that everyone is enjoying, but it seems they are using your money. Can you come and also enjoy some of that oil? So your government ekirinaako obuzibu kakando emba sigiwoze sente zange ziri ku banka ejja zikwata ekole ki.
So it means if I save my katenma and I don't touch it and I stay at home saying na saving a million zange 10 ziri eyo nze nyina cash. yo banka
banka
nyewola government
nga yeefuna amagoba nga gwolinde ekkumizo nga lwozaagala nga bazikuwa. So yes, you can make some money. Well, nekirala okukyexpandinga in, I think this is a very important point that gyolese Arthur, is this. Right now, there is a report that was published in March, early March, naye ng'ekola ku December, ng'eraga who has the biggest bond portfolios za government. Because that it can do two things to know what that kind of statistics. It can give you.
I can't hear. Wait, Alex. Can the rest of you guys hear us properly? Me included?
I can hear you.
Zinga sikulira, Alex. What's wrong with my phone?
Let me check and I see if others can hear us. But me, I can hear you perfectly.
Let me just open the live broadcast on another account here. Ndabe oba yomba nkuwulira bulungi. Because I can hear a voice. I can hear your voice.
He can hear us.
Hey, you guys can hear.
Yeah. I think it might be on
so
your
Alex,
side.
you can continue then as I sort my issues here.
Kale. So at point Jolese Arthur Nungi Wadojaji following in later. It's very, very important for people to know who owns the most government debt. So it's either, and here I'm being a little bit of a devil's advocate. Arthur, are you back?
Okay, Linda Cocaton, I think it's an issue with my volumes here.
Can I speak now? Can you hear me?
You continue.
But how come you can respond?
I'm sure the rest of the people here. Why is it off? Just a moment.
Technology sometimes can be a problem for us.
Something is just off. Yes, Alex, I think I have to use two devices.
Ompulira. Yes, Alex. So mute this big one.
Yes, I'm going to mute this one.
So mute this big one. Kati ompulira bokola ekigalo nyamanya ati ompulira.
Okay, still sikulira. I can hear you from this one. I can't hear you from that one. So,
and yes,
as you
I can hear you perfectly well. I can hear you.
I don't know what's wrong with my.
For as long as you can hear me, that's fine. Let's say what you are trying to do here. I can hear you, and I can see you.
Yes, Alex.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Can cause earphones.
Okay. So
yeah, I think I missed a few points there.
There is a point. The initiative actually, say that kind of comment. I think you're trying to kid deco. It's like the government pushing for people to buy treasury bonds. That's not true. I actually am having a little bit of a hard pushback from the government more than I'm having with certain individuals, because the government taking a the majority of people who own the government debt, it's either treasury, commercial banks, and the commercial banks, which man are they using? Like we have talked about, you and I's deposit. Two, insurance companies. Insurance companies, which people's man are they using? You and I. Pension. We have NSSF. If you are here and you are employed and you pay NSSF every single month, what do you think NSSF is putting in your money to give you 11% return? Tebaina duka mu kikubo, tebaina supermarket, ebizimbe bye bazimbye Temangalo cannot give you that money. They have close to 12 to 13 trillion in the government debt. And the new entrants these days are the people.
Alex, hold on just a little bit. Someone has said
eddoboozi lyo liri a little bit low. I think it's nange kiraka mbadde nkuwulira naye nga katono naye tugende
Eryange
maaso
oba eriryo?
eriryo eriryo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now that's better.
But some people have been saying I'm loud and clear, so I continued like that.
Ati abamu bamanyira era eddoboozi eribeera wansi kati twamanyira lino eryaffe. Aha, now it's okay. Kanaye kansooke nzijeko bu airpod buno just to make sure. Aha, obadde okyagamba.
So now it's very clear.
Esimu yange erina ekizibu.
I think for me, my phone just has a problem. Let's go on.
But can people hear me? Am I clear now?
Yes, people can hear you properly.
Yeah. Mbadde ongezako okumaliza this point that the effort you're going to put in to say, guys, come and buy some of the treasury bond is bw'otazigula waliwo abalala abazigula. Essaawa eno almost every week we are tracking the data, but almost every week over 100 billion from the Middle East is entering the economy to buy government's bonds.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Almost every week 100 billion plus. Genda obuzeko abantu abali mu treasury bond industry bakuwuli. Almost. So it's not like, so if you do not buy, its government is never going to struggle not to get someone to lend to. Why? Because to the government, to the industry at large, the government is the best. It's the best lender, borrower. They will always find a way to pay. So omuntu yenna at this point, your goal is simple. It's to say, how do I make money?
Yeah.
If bonds make money for you, go for the bonds. The question which people always ask, but will government pay us? The government which you are lending is not your political arm. Kati ate ky'abantu kye balina okukkiriza n'okwawula nti government zaabikanga bisatu. Mulimu eya politics, gy'oyinza okugamba ekulemberwa political heads. Ne mbaamu gye tuyita technical, ba civil servants. Ky'oba olaba bw'oba owola government togiwola togenda ku Ministry of Finance, ogenda through Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda is an autonomous entity. It has been there since 1961. The first time they issued the treasury bond is 1969. Since then, your government will choose your politics. Boba Sigalao, the civil servants have to stay. They serve the government of the day. So, two, they are the ones who are responsible for our monetary policy. Monetary policy nkireeta ebikwatagana ku byenfuna n'ebyennyingiza bya government. It's not the politics. Yes, some of this is going to be read by Minister Kasaija, but the data and the people who are implementing these policies which impact you and I, the technical people like you and I as an organization, and the technical bobera kati nganze and my skill sets are in finance, in investments and things to do like this. I will never, maybe never have a man be employed by the government. You might never even hear my name anywhere. Ninga data atabikola I know kusoma report je tukoze emyaka ebiri nga tujikola research. So that effort to say that the government will pay you is literally you saying, and the technical people have the capacity to make sure our economy doesn't crash. So at any one point, they were in the Bank of Uganda that it has been there. I mean, we are obote tuwe yakomawo yamutwala. Bwe yamutwala amabanja amini ge yewola obote tu yagasasula. Museveni bwe yatwala obote teyagamba nti abantu obote sente ze yewoze mu treasury bond sijja zisasula. Yatandikirawo because akimanyira ye agenda komawo nayo yeewole asasule. 3, you cannot put what we call a time limit on a sovereignty. Nti tosobola keera kyano ogamba omanyi oba ola Kakande oyinza ogamba n'emmotoka bwe mukubira awo n'agenda n'ebbanja lyange oba bwe muwa looni ya myaka 4 bw'aba alina emyaka 4 essaawa eno chances ebyetya kubeerayo myaka 4 okuva kati. But can you say Uganda tegenda kubeerawo myaka 10 okuva kati?
It will be there.
At that time sovereignty gyetuteeka ku sovereignty, it's the only state mu nsi nga Japan balinayo treasury bond ey'emyaka 10 emakiwalinga 2099 mu nsi nga US and UK balina treasury bond ez'emyaka 35 gwina okwata dola zo bibiri neziwola gavumenti yo neekuwa ssente okumala emyaka 40. Germany recently badde bagenda inflation yabwe yatukako wansi ku 0. In a way to boost the economy, they the treasury bond ya myaka 49. So all those is to show you nti kino ekintu tekiri Uganda yokka.
The question is, Alex, if we got a war today, ne tukyakala ne bakuba amasasi ne bakola biki kugamba olutalo ne lutabuka wano sente zange zibaayo ne lubeerawo emyaka 5 ng'olutalo lukwajja n'ensooka ŋŋendako ne mu America ne famire yange olutalo bwe lugwa 5 years from now bwe nkomawo do I just open my email and I say I bought bonds?
Monsasule.
That's what happens.
Yes.
That's what happens.
And 2 things will happen actually in that, right? Not to rule out the war, but to get the worst economic political crisis in an economy. For it to happen, we get away to a power government yegamba, the civil servants bagamba ono batubanja tuyino basasula. For example, the better example jengendo ko hankwe Niger. Okay, political situation in Niger, it lasted for just 6 months. Niger, when the new administration right now yaja through a coup, they imposed every government operations, and one of that was no more paying people until we figure out what has been going on, and that is okay because on a agenda gamba nkusasura kakasani ati no watuola government, and for 6 months they didn't make a single payment for bondholders. After 6 months, bondholders now are being paid fully and clear. So it's not true. Ebanja was the state chivachi kyegambye konti olutalo lwa Obote lwaliwo. Obote yeewola. Museveni we yajja era bwe tusoma reports bakulaga yasasula abantu abeewola mu Obote. Ekyokubiri kitunulire mugambe waliwo kye tuyita insurance. Ata otegeera eby'emmotoka bulungi. Bw'abawo omwaka tugenda tuyingiramu egyo emyaka nga omuntu okugula okola ekintu kye bwe banyagala okugula emmotoka nja kwegamba bugambi kanoonye amanye eby'emmotoka gy'aguze mugoberero oyo lwaki aguze Subaru oba lwaki aguze Toyota eno. Nyizo basibitegeera naye kangoberero ono kyakoze bw'aba decision kyakoze nga kyategeera kitegeeza azibanga kyakoze kye kituufu.
Yes, don't forget the English people, Alex.
Oh,
Let's try to do. Everyone knows English, but not everyone knows Uganda.
Okay, so sometimes when you have to also assess what the big boys are. Let me call them the big boys. People who understand this economy and the business and the finance, right? If we are to assess and say what is the collective of the best finance mindsets, they are always in the banking institution. Now, if BFCU has lent more money to the government through treasury bonds than lending to the customer, however bad that is for the private sector. The question you're asking yourself, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? That's a very apt question. Like to ask yourself, what is DFCU seeing that I'm
that
not
I'm not
seeing?
seeing.
And when you kind of fund, then you follow them. Then you look at a company like Stanbic Bank. You ask yourself, Stanbic Bank has lent out over 0.8 trillion to the government. Some of that is long-term bonds. What is Stanbic seeing that I'm not seeing? That is making them make over 300 billion a year just by lending to the
Yes.
government. Then you sit back and be like, okay, let's take a step further. Let's go outside the country. Let's go to Kenya. Right now, one of the best performing bank is Equity Bank Kenya. But what is making Equity Bank Kenya to lend over 10 trillion in UGX equivalent to the government of Kenya through treasury bonds? What are they seeing that I'm not seeing? Why are they so sure that the government of Kenya will pay them, and me, who has just an equivalent of, let's say, 1 million, I'm scared of losing my 1 million?
I have little money.
You have little money, you don't want to lose it. Three, and in that, then you have to think about it this way, Arthur, that there is a reason globally, not even in Uganda alone, they say treasury bond are the safest investment you can ever make. Safest investment you can ever make. And let's compare right now what's happening to the US. I know Sekaja has talked about Trump and something executive order. In the last 1 week alone, the stock market in the US, like their prime and everything, has lost close to almost $10 trillion. And there is one of, for us who follow this, we are told this. The only person, or one of the few companies that is making money right now is Warren Buffett. And you know why they are saying for him is making money? Because he's sitting on close to 400 billions of treasury bonds and treasury bill of the US economy. So for him, money from the stocks and he put them into the treasury bills and treasury bonds. Now, while everyone is crashing, the treasury bonds are stable because for them, it's not a loss. You get a fixed income and you are guaranteed that amount for as long as you can. You know, JK is saying S&P is down 15% in 1 week. That means if you had $10,000 right now, you have close to $8,000. 22K gone, wiped off. You know, yet someone who put 10,000 in the US dollar in the treasury bond, for them they still have 10,000, and they're going to get that their profits coming through. So it's the same concept when you have to think about it from the Ugandan economy. That I can do so much. I have 1 million. I can go and I do Kuyiriba, hustle it out downtown.
Yep.
The treasury bond investments should not replace that. And that's why we are calling it investments. An investment is something that should bring you an extra income. It should not necessarily replace your main job or your main hustle. If your trade is downtown or uptown, you're a lawyer, engineer, you are a farmer, you can continue being everything on your farm while at the same time you are investing to make money off your investment. And that is as simply put as what it should be. You know, so when it comes to treasury bonds, someone has to appreciate that. Okay, how come the government of Uganda and not separate the politics from the technical? People need to separate that. You find someone fully gainfully employed by the government, and they're like, "What if the government doesn't pay me?" I'm like, "Aren't you employed by the government?" Yes. Have you ever worried that the government won't pay you salary? No. So what makes you think they will pay you salary, but they will not pay you the treasury bond?
The question,
I will tell them.
Alex, I have a question. We have seen our president sometimes just waking out of the blue and saying, "Tekisoboka." What if the president wakes up one day? N'agamba abo abatuwola ssendawo batulekemu. Because we know he can. He can. What if he says that?
Yeah. I would say
or his son.
Chisoboka. Let me not say the Chisoboka, but the chances of that happening is close to zero. I'll give you for two reasons. If you follow the budget, one of these days in May or June, we shall do a live review of the budget just for the
Yes.
investment side of it. But I'll give you a snippet because the data right now is out, though people are not yet to see it. The first order of business in the budget, one of the biggest line, has everything to do with the treasury bonds. In the right now, the numbers are 57 trillion. Arthur, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Someone has tried calling me, and somehow I think I might have lost the video, but I'm going to continue talking because I have a hard stop in 5 minutes.
Okay.
In the budget right now, it's a 57 trillion budget, right?
Yes.
Close to 18 trillion is dedicated to treasury bonds straight away. And when they can delay paying a salary for a civil servant, they will not delay paying a coupon to a debt holder for one reason.
Yes.
They need the debt holder to make sure he's happy for them to lend them more money tomorrow. They need the confidence of the debt holder more than the confidence of a civil servant. And three, because the people who are holding the biggest amount of money, the people who are holding the biggest amount of the treasury bonds are very powerful. Like I've told you right now, almost 100 billion is coming into the economy every single week by treasury bonds. So that's the kind of money that you can't just wake up and say, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay them. It's that simple.
Then someone brought up something that is very important. The middlemen make it hard to buy them. So where is the right place for someone to buy the bonds that afunye buzibu era nga bwe tuwulira mu Uganda? Can it come to a time that I'm supposed to be paid and then someone says mpaayo 10 nsobole okuyisizaawo mangu sente zo ziveeyo?
No. Omanyi abe Kampala we are used to brokers everywhere. In treasury bonds, it's the only thing where you do not necessarily have to deal with the brokers, especially illegitimate brokers. At a bare minimum, I'll tell you that. If someone comes to me, I'm charging them my time not to broker their deal. At a bare minimum, I'm going to charge you 600,000 for you to go, and I teach you how to make money from the treasury bonds.
Yes.
Even if you are buying a bond of 300 million, I'm not going to tell you, oh, I'm taking 10%. This is not land. Two, the middleman, you can avoid them by going straight to the bank. But the problem is the bank price bonds differently. You want to go with someone who understands it. And the investment advisors, I know, the legitimate one, they charge a very, very small fee. That you're going to buy a bond of 20 million, they're going to
Ovuddeko. Alex, ovuddeko.
Arthur, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, people are killing me with the calls. I'm not so sure why. I know I have a hard stop in the next 2 minutes. Let's do this. I know we're going to do bonds in the next sessions. I believe we can arrange a better session. Today the video has disturbed me. Next Saturday and the Saturday after, we're going to be doing with the bonds and answer as much questions as possible.
Just answer one question. What is a hard stop? What do you mean hard stop? What is hard stop?
Hard stop means I have a meeting that I must attend to no matter what. Like I can't avoid it.
Why don't you just say I have a very important meeting? Just answer one question. Just answer one question. If I buy a bond of 10 years, Garampa 10%. Does the 10% only apply to the 10 million I gave them? For example, if I gave them 10 million, or if I if I give them 10 million now, and every year they are giving me 1 million, right? Do I keep getting 1 million or because if I get 1 million, that means no 10 million 10% is 1 million, right? So look to
Yeah,
so
look at you
if
too. There are two
so
ways to
if
eat. The first one is bwebakwa 1
uh-huh,
million yo n'ogitwala n'ogirya
yes
tezigenda kweyongerako jasigala ng'ofunayo 1 million for the 10 years. After 10 years
yes
bakuwe ye 10 million back. Naye buli
yes
lwe bakuwa 1 million n'ogulamu bondi endala kitegeeza the
yes
next year ogenda kufuna 1.1. Oluddamu bwe bakuwa million n'ogizaamu ogenda kufuna naawe 2 point something. Zigenda zikula and after 10 years ogenda ojjayo gyeyo akavankata ako nga kaliko kadde nga 30 like 30 million or 40 million depending on how you have been reinvesting it back.
Then before you go again, the taxes that are involved in with the bonds, waliwo agambye awo n'agamba emisolo egijjirako egy'emisoso. How much am I, if I make Micah 1 million, if let's say I make 10 million profit from the bonds I gave the government, is my other 10 million safe? The 10 million that I put, it's safe, it's not
10
taxable
million
because
is not taxed.
how much is taxed in total on the profit? What's the percentage that I pay
So
in tax?
bw'ogula bondi ey'emyaka 10 you pay
Yes.
tax of 10% ku magoba g'oba ofuna. Kitegeeza buli bakuwa 1 million bakuggyako 10% which is 100k ne bakuwa 900k. Bw'ogula bondi zino ennyimpimuko myaka 2 myaka 3 the taxes ziriko ya 20%. So that also matters on which kind of bond you end up having to buy. Okifuna because kiba kitegeeza olina okulondawo bondi ey'omusolo omulungi gwe n'ogamba nti no at the end of the day I need to make sure I'm paying as less tax as possible, so let me buy a bond of 5-10 years. Kyova olaba omuntu wajja ewange mugamba let's talk and I understand what you're trying to do and I guide you better, and when I guide you better we choose something that is commensurate to your needs and your wants.
Yes. Then one more thing era still nga tonnagenda. Are there withdrawal fees? Togenda. Are there withdrawal fees?
Withdrawal fees on what?
Nokye sente zange mbadde sente zange emyaka 10 n'amagoba gange.
Tewali withdrawal fees.
Transactional fees.
Bakakuwa mu bujjuvu.
Ekitegeeza bwe nfuna 10 zange ne 10 zange ez'amagoba bajjeko 10% yabwe miliyoni emu bampe miliyoni zange gakugayo 19 nga tebanziyeko yadde akantu.
Ate bw'obeera obadde ozizzaamu teziba 19.
Ziba ziziyitamu.
Zizaamu zibanga miliyoni nga 4 mu ziizo emyaka 10. Jjukira eno miliyoni gy'ozzaamu egenda nayo kuzaala ssente. Zeezadde nazo zizaale. Kibanga kugamba nti ntandise n'embuzi emu ezadde abaana 2. Nabo bwe bakola bwe basibatunze nabo bagenda kufuna eggwako nabo bazaale. So all of a sudden I have 4 goats. After another year I get another 2 goats. Those are 2 goats. You know? So before you know it, you're going to wake up after 10 years when you have 10 goats. So it's the same. You starting with 10 million.
Yes. Is the hard stop here?
Hard stop. They are here already. I know they are here. I'm seeing them on my other screen, which I don't know what happened to them.
With this thing.
You can see them here.
We can't actually, your screen is off. But I want you to go with this one thing. I want you to, for next Saturday, I want you to prepare an argument for us. Nti omuntu akutte miliyoni 2. I want to give you scenarios. One, akutte miliyoni ezo 2 n'azimbamu n'agulako plot n'azimbako emizigo. Omulala n'akwata miliyoni 2 because I'm interested in cars. N'asuubulamu emmoloka. Someone called me I think 2 weeks ago n'agamba Arthur ngenda tandika bond ngenda lete moroka nga bibiri. I want you to be the face of my bond. We did not connect properly, but I want you to try and next Saturday we have that. Next time Bambi meeting hard stop GGA because you did not tell me about your hard stop. And next week hard stop GGA.
Olumu be bakama bango olumu agana gamba sawa 16 naye tugera tunyambula mpola paka alona
Funabwekisebereza because next week the discussion njagala ebeera nti omuntu alina miliyoni 2 aziteeke mu mizigo wali oba azireete zigende mu treasury bond wa waasinga okufuna because nange awo sinnakagatta bulungi bwe mba nkuwa miliyoni 10 n'ompa miliyoni emu omwaka mulamba ate bw'omala n'otwalako omusolo erudda biba tebigatta bulungi. But let's have that discussion next week. Alex kankuteko ogende okole hard stop yo naye olala akozesa oluzungu oli direct gamba I have a very important meeting. Alex, thank you very much. Abantu bano ngenda bawe number yo so that Kale, thank you very much.
Kale.
So guys, we have lost Alex teyangambe ku meeting eyo. But I know where the discussion is going. I know that where the discussion is going, it's actually interesting for all of us. Yeah. Now me, my issue with the treasury bonds, I'm sure so many people would want to
invest in those things. Make at the confusion now, a giranese of fees. Invest Micah Tenma, and I receive a 1 million every year. And after receiving my 1 million every year, they are bagenda sada kumi kitegeza amankola emitwalo 9 with 10 million. Enoch, you don't see tolaba omulimu awo okitegere nti miliyoni 10 zigenda kukoleranga emitwalo 9 buli mwaka. It's risk free, but the thing is, how many things can you do with 10 million that will give you more than 900,000? The issue is, I was talking to a friend of mine, Asubula Spare one Moroka, and he brought nose cuts for cars. And when he brought the nose cuts, he can make a lot of money out of the nose cuts. But the issue is, he can have a nose cut for close to a year or 2 years, and no one is actually buying. And by the time he sells his spares, he has even forgotten how much he invested, how much he's making in profit. And for me, I find that that's one of the issues that happens. Jay Sekaja, it's more profitable than Mizigo. Yeah, it makes sense. That's why I've given him the scenario so that he does his numbers properly. Treasury bills and bonds are good for pensioners. Okay, Seguya, yeah. You can invest in men fancy salon and you make more 10 million. Uchiraba, Shafiq already has an idea. When take a salon, I'm going to make even more than that. How come we are not aware up to this time? Just Chubate Tumanyi. Me, I had a relative that worked in government there. And already bata and kadobi investing. It's just that Bo Babi Sigaza nebata tugamba. Guys, allow me just to read his number for you. Just in case you don't know where to find him. He will charge you consultation definitely. But let me just put a disclaimer. He has not paid me anything to promote him. I just found that we needed to have this discussion like last year. And a discussion with Ajetu, we host him. They are very busy, or they pretend to be very busy. To come and have this discussion with us. I am glad that we are having this discussion. I'm very aware of treasury bonds and I intend to invest in them seriously too. A number, Alex, guys, for the people that would love to get his number, it's 0771. I'm thinking that's on WhatsApp because you're talking about more. Budget at heaven, investment heaven, where not taxes. His Alex Kakande's number is 0771 404371. 0 0 Like you say, treasury bonds don't replace your main hustle. Exactly. They don't replace your main hustle. But the thing is, JK, there are people that don't even invest in main hustles. Meaning they make more than that. Ngatakola mitwalo 9 mwaka. Mitwalo 9 mwaka is little money, I'm telling you, JK. Using 10 million to make mitwalo 9 mwaka is obokola sente entono nnyo. I'll give you an example. For example, omuntu ateka sente mu omudala gwa chapati. Like omudala gwa chapati, omuntu gumuwa omutwalo gumu per day. Omudala gwa chapati. Not that I've done it, but the people that do it tell me. So afuna 10k every day for 30 days. So omudala gwa chapati gumuwa emitwalo asatu. Let's just imagine this person is paying rent of like 60,000 omudala gwa chapati gwe guli. N'asasula emitwalo 6. Kitegeeza omudala gwa chapati guwa omuntu emitwalo 24 per month. Naye omudala gwa chapati ng'agutaddemu a maximum of 1 million. Katugambe 1.5. So if that person makes 240,000 per month for 12 months, aba akoze 2,880,000 shillings. Yatekamu 1 million. Kitegeeza in 1 year aba akoze the 1 million they invested ng'akoze n'amagoba ga 1,800,000 shillings. You get? Kitegeeza omuntu oyo bw'abanga business agimanyi. Of course that's if a 10-year bond rate is at 14%. Yeah, 14%. So, but this person has made more than 14%. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. But the mudala is also still there. But he has also made 2.8. It's just that most of these people that have these mudala chapatis, they never really record they never have like transaction, they never record anything. Eh? They cannot even track it. Treasury bonds with high rates are also sold at a discount. Talk about the risks and political situation on ground. Archive Club, Alex has told us the political situation don't affect the bonds. That the government keeps using your money even in war. I'm doing unit trust, but it's better than Mizigo. When it comes to numbers, especially for people who have invested, who have a budget of 50 million and above, it's a sure deal, less stress. You assume constant sales and estimate on best sales. Jese kaja abantu b'emidaala owachapati oba akoze oba takoze alina okuwanda nyine mudaala omutwalo. Ontegeera, because there are days omwana wa chapati lwakola mu money. Okitegeera gwo omutwalo gulina okubaawo sure deal. So but that's from people I've talked to. I don't know if they lie or if they are telling the truth. You get it? Miti, the issue is you are talking about someone that has 50 million and above. But we should also consider the people that have like a 5 ma, 2 ma, 3 ma. Ngabaina mo busente butono. That's it is them treasury unit trusts aba takola. Like for example, Miti, unit trusts zikuwa interest chibuli per annum. How much are you getting in interest per annum with the unit trust? And Uganda started issuing treasury bonds in 1969 and has never defaulted even through political instability. Thank you, JK. So ekitegeeza ne wabawo olutalo gwe buli mwaka sente zo zibaayo wabawola. Unit trusts are about 11%. So it means if you invest like 50 million, you're making about 5.5 per annum. And if you leave it there, of course it grows if you leave the money there. I think the issue with Mizigo, issue ye Mizigo eri nti abantu abayina emizigo bo sente zaabwe bazirya. I think that's the biggest issue. Nti sente bazirya. Ani azimba ku mizigo? Ani wanaine emizigo? Nze mizigo sijiriimu sijja kugibaamu. But who of the guys here has a mizigo? Era if you have a mizigo, then you can tell us 50 million zizimba emizigo emeka. Era emizigo gyo giba gikuwa sente emeka with 50 million. Because with 50 million, I find that the biggest issue with mizigo, nze jjajja wange yalina emizigo. Naye nga sente nga bwe zijja, bwe zisasula fees, bwe zigula emmere, bwe zikola ki, nga sente toziraba. Other treasury bonds are so good for people who don't have time to monitor their businesses, and those aren't yet sure of what businesses to do. Thank you, Preacher Joseph. The sina mizigo, olina chi Shafiko, olina saluni. Arthur, I get 11%. If you leave it there, you get what we call compounding effect, which gives you more money over time. Definitely. Then ekitegeza miti, what this does is treasury bonds and unit trusts should be reserved for people that have money that agenda kuzeerabira. I think it's the same thing that happens with ebintu prudential by'abaana edusave kuba ozivaako n'ozeesonyiwa ne zikula byazo paka emyaka gye wateekayo wegiwera n'abapangisa batawaanya okubanja. And Archive Club, the thing that happens with the bapangisa these days, you get a company, it eats 10%. But what the company does, it gives you your money. Basobola n'okusasula emyaka ebiri bo n'obavaako ne beebanjiza emizigo gyabwe. Arthur, a fancy salon makes 200,000 per day. Go investing in Meka Shafik, that's the issue. How much have you invested in that salon for it to be able to give you 200,000 a day? That's the issue. So Shafik, you have a salon. How much did you invest in that salon, and for it to be able to give even 100,000? And when did it start giving you that amount of money? Please share. You invested 10 million. It's good for target workers. Oh, so Kati, it's good for people that have money that they are not touching. Because there are people that have money, nga ine million zenga chikumi, nga tazikwatako nga ziri just zibera mu balance awo, azirabako mu balance. Zijajjange yayina emizigo naye ng'era taba na sente. I find that that's one of the issues that happens with mizigo. Era waliwo omukazi wa paso ankulubudde ku bampa y'emabega. I got out with one statement. Okulubula ine paso. Okulubula. And then she started saying, of course, those are minor things you let go. Now, yeah, I was a sekurubude nenga bampa ye yo nam. Like, how do you scratch in a person? Arthur, I also own a saloon, but the returns are not worth the investment. It's only good for home daily expenses. Saloon makes more than Micah Elf. Elf. Jay Sekaja, Elf equasende make a week. Fancy Saloon makes money. I have just joined, but my question is what minimum amount to start with and how? Sorry for the inconvenience. Nathan, no worries. The conversation on bonds, we have someone that helps people invest. That's why he has just left. He's going to be here next Saturday. The broadcast will start at 5:15, and we'll have a deeper conversation, and you can have a chance to ask your question. Truth be told, we should stop thinking that 15 years are far. Time etuuka ngira toyina kyolina. Bonds and unit trust are the way to think. Yes, Ambrose, by the way, myaka jidduka. Jidduka ng'olinamu byokola ng'olinamu ne kasente. Bw'oba ng'oli mwavu nga n'ebyokola bitono. Emyaka egyo 15 mingi. That's why abantu beetuga. I find that first things first, ng'abantu bandaaneka kulowooza nti where should I invest money? N'ateekawo they should first make money. Treasury bonds won't make sense for everyone. They make sense to me, and I religiously invest. JK, you can definitely help us make sense of them. Yeah, you can help us make sense of them. That's why we are here. You guys, JK is saying you can invest in treasury bonds starting from 100,000. One can build their bond portfolio by investing in a bond every month. It depends on the location of the saloon, appearance, and your service delivery. Bro, I have a friend here with a saloon along Gayaza Road. But on a weekly basis, he saves 200,000. Ekitegeeza saloon ebeekola more than a treasury bond. Anti ekola emitwalo 2 buli wiiki, kitegeeza akola emitwalo 8 per month. Kitegeeza akola sente yagiteekamu mmeka ayinza bagisanga milioni 15. Kitegeeza he makes more money than treasury bonds. You get kati. Of course, there are other people that have invested in saloon. Like Miti has said, he has a saloon, and it's not worth it for him. But then it makes money. I think Miti, ekinacho ino kumanya. Nti saloon eyo mujiryamu all the time. That's the thing. Nenga, I'm imagining that if you had a chance to calculate how much the saloon makes, oyinza okwesanga saloon eyo bagisa milioni 5. Ekola sente nyingi okusinga omuntu yasa milioni 5 mu treasury bonds. Yokitegeera. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, Miti. Nti abewaka engeri gy'otabeerayo gwe ng'omusajja olumba ayinza n'obutazigamba ezivuddemu kati obula bw'oyinza okugamba it's not worth it. Okitegeera. Naye nga ojja kwesanga nga ate JK, he's JK Nathan, he's called JK. You guys, we have 10 minutes nange mbasiibule, but it's a very good conversation. So JK, basically, omuntu aina sente nyingi. What I've understood, what tuja kubuza ebibuzo Kakande later. Tulabe emitwalo 10. Because emitwalo 10, if you invest emitwalo 10 mu treasury bonds, buli mwaka ogenda bafuna emitwalo gumu. That's 10%. Omutwalo gumu buli mwaka. But emitwalo 10, nze how I started like putting money aside mwezo mu bitu by'abaana ebyo edusave bichi unit trusts. How I started is I realized that over the years I would get into a scuffle with the border guy. By the time you leave that place, you have spent 100K. Sometimes 100K drops. And then you cannot. And Kasule, 10K from 100,000. And the thing that happens, guys, what I've understood about with these things is you need to calculate how much money can I lose a year and I don't even notice. For me, I realized that every like if I get a place where I can put 100,000 every month without bothering, that's how the unit trusts work. It is so actually ku treasury bonds. We are not clear. Can I buy a treasury bond every month? If I could buy a treasury bond every month, then I'm going to buy a treasury bond every month. The thing with investing 10 million and getting only 1 million every year, the thing with these other things, there are so many other things that we can do. Or at least in anja business, just treasury bonds can be bought every month. I think that's the thing that most people don't actually know. Bonds and unit trusts are not an active business. It helps you save money while you are making profits. It's the insurance things, but Shafiq, 200K is after expenses, rent, workers, yakak. Shafiq, come answer. Chetaga someone who is ready to make mega investment. Shafiq, there is a question there for you. In your saloon, you make 200K every day after expenses. Because obasasuda masanyazi ugaguze, cleaning detergent obisasude, ozizawo spirit gwe mukozeseza, ozizawo shampoos, abantu ebyuma bya saloon. What if they need money? Ziva mujeke. Guys, Shafiq abagambi akola 200,000 every day after expenses mu saloon ye yasamwe million 10. And me, I find, guys, there's something I'm quite getting my head around. There are people in Uganda that make money in ways that we don't know. One muvubuka, I expected for him a car to agula Raum. After the Raum, a couple of weeks later, to agula Murukaji. Yeah, it was a Raum. Like months later, he bought a Vix. Like 2 months later, he bought a plot, built in it. Najisake chikomira. Najisake chikomira. Natandike nyumba z'abapangisa. Plot yawo ngaguze Mark X and APR. Plot yawo ngaguze Benz. There are businesses that people are doing at Katinga Shafiq wakugambye. If Shafiq can make 200,000 a day, kitegeeza akola million mukaaga. Because saloon tezigala Monday to Monday ziba zikola. Kitegeeza Shafiq make 6 million. But Shafiq, like Chibuka is saying, Shafiq, what you should do, Ambrose has said, kati buli mwezi kwata ye ngenjo kola million mukaaga. Shafiq, every month million zezo mukaaga sigaza akonya. Everybody is taking treasury bonds. I think treasury bonds and treasury bonds and bills are good saving investment options for people looking for growth. Yes, Ronald, you're true. After prepare a discussion about businesses, we can do with like 10 million instead of treasury bonds. Let us compare and contrast. Shafiq, are you open to being on the live broadcast or don't worry, URA will not look for you. Shafiq, are you open to being hosted on the live broadcast or to katiremuka math bicho for a saloon because then that's also something that we can explore. People have their money. Nekati omuntu akubamu akafaananyi ejje kamazima nange nga gamba okwata milioni zange 10 ziteeke wano nga sobola nga zivaayo zijjayo miliyoni emu omwaka. okitegeera miliyoni emu ogenda okigataggatamu nga waliwo ekitagatta ontegeera nga tewali waaka okitegeera. With 50 million you can build 5 single rooms. If these rooms rented at money less than 150, then treasury bonds are better. Anti kati 5 single rooms nga zirimu ekinaabiro ne kitchen kuba yotebeera studio. If just single rooms bapangisiza emitwalo 8 ku 10 ate nga ziri mu bantu aba some single room ekwa emitwalo 15 eba mu kifo nga kiri kumpi nnyo ne main road. Shafik, you can kale Shafik, you WhatsApp me now just in case you don't find my number in the description. 752-991-051. That's my number that is on my WhatsApp. So we can host you not to lead them ku chintu cha saloon yecho abantu nabone kubanga that's a business, you understand. But guys, let me just make this clear. Don't invest in a business that you don't understand. Wade Shafika agenda kujja atulire mtoto jida ndogea nokola saloon mangwago. Me I learned the hard way. Okola business jotegeera okitegeera. After the goal is to grow beyond 10 million by adding on or leaving profits there. Exactly. 50 million will get you single rooms like for like 70k, 80k. Exactly. Miti. Zenange chemanyi nti milioni 5 okuzimba ennyumba z'abapangisa zonna zigenda kuba zikuwa emitwalo 5 toys ebweru tewali na kikomera okitegeera nga abapangisa bababba. After we are safe. Can we buy the treasury bonds? That's a discussion for Saturday, guys. Alex has given us the time. My strategy of treasury bonds for future cash flow, I'm looking at 10 years from now. Linda ko JK. Are you investing after 10 years from now, or are you investing and you want to get your money out 10 years from now? I will reinvest every single coupon. Okay. So now every time your money goes back, your money for 10 years. But how much have you invested, JK? Umanyi tuyinza kuba tulalo nze kuba JK manyoli mu bede tuyinza kuba tuliwa twogera oli mu kwogera mu biliyoni ya sente ng'abasajja abamu betwogera nabo balina miliyoni 10 miliyoni 2 oteekayo mmeka? Oyinza okudda n'otugumyagumya naffe tukwata emitwalo gyaffe 7 tugenda tukuli treasury bonds ng'ate emitwalo gyaffe 7 twaligiwoza omuntu wali n'atuwa 10% per week. Anti omanyi ba money lenders bo we bakola. Money lenders make 10% per week, a month. Omuntu omwe emitwalo 7 nga buli mwezi akuwa emitwalo gyo 7 ogenda okumaliriza nga mu mwaka emitwalo 7 gikoze emitwalo 7 okitegeera. So JK agambe he's making 3 million per month for 5 years. I think Kasule Ramadan, you have said what? I'll start with the start of just 20 million. Nze nabagambe JK mazima wanvu. JK mazima wanvu naye wano waliwo abantu abalala mazima wanvu abasirise beekwese eyo zimbabuulira. Kati ngoyo mvuka gwe mbanyumiriza buli mwezi yalinga agule moroka milioni 10 n'azimba emizigo yagimaze kati girimu abapangisa bayingide n'okuyingira yazimba ennyumba mwezi gumu okitegeera. Aba akyazimba ennyumba n'agula kimakex n'akisawali n'agula kibenzi n'akisawali aba abimaliza ati ne bamuliramu emizigo n'agizimba okitegeera. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. So but I'm very sure these discussions I was missing nyo. So next week we'll have Alex, but we are also going to have Shafika again. Accompanies our WhatsApp message, and we're going to create a broadcast with him. So kusoma ku saloon yeyo business ya saloon ogisamo oti emiliyoni 10 n'ekuwe miliyoni mitwalo 2 buli lunaku nga magoba. There is a lady investing 100 million per year in treasury bonds, and her target is 10 years doing the same thing. JK, that's I've got your strategy. Guys. On Saturday, I'm hoping I remember. On Saturday, I'm going to come back with a mathematics that JK is bringing on to Jakuba Tunyumia. Guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. Kasule Ramadan, Viola Namiro, Jessica, Jack, Karachi, Leonard, Chintu Farm, Dr. Kasule Matia VIP, Aramat Photography, Erasonic Group, Chambade Hannington, Paul Sema VIP, Chintu Farms Limited, Nuamanya, Ronald Muchwa, Kasule Ramadan, Enoch Waters, Ronald Muchwa, Muyombia Mark, Seguya Ronald VIP, Julia Sengoba, Sheila's Jano, JK, of course, Mwesigwa Joel, Pascal Ima, Dasha 256, Shafik UG, Bukenya Abi, Seguya Ronald Nkumaze, Archive Club, Miti Tega Safaris, Preacher Joseph, the Original Gospel Church, Nathan, guys, mujukira Alpha D afe ingiri bagizaawo lwaleero. So I am going to drive that car before I hand it over to the gentleman. Hopefully nali gitutteko n'ematugga ne nkakasa nti eteredde kati terina bwe I think there was a miscalculation we basooka okukola okukyamuka okwo nti emmoloka yeezikiza. When a car seizes on its own, ne wansi eba ekoze ekyo already, ne wansi eba eyonoonye emmoloka kasita esiizinga. In every broadcast ngenda fuba okulaba nga mbajjukiza the people that are in Uganda, if you're driving a car regardless of what, amaaso gakubeere ku kkubo ne mu kisaawa to make sure that your car doesn't overheat and stop on its own. You get, you can always see that mu kisaawa, either if you have lights or a temperature gauge, always amaaso gakubeere mu kisaawa. Kube emmoloka, I can tell you one thing, me have driven a car that overheats nenjivuga nenjijja Emityana nenjituuse e Kampala. Naye nga tekola faani, nga tekola. So it means if you're not careful, esobola oku overheating. But you know, sometimes how we drive those cars, faba ze emmoloka enkadde tubimanyi. Emmoloka osobola ogivuga, otuuka kaserengeto n'ozikiza. Negenda. Okisegeera, bw'oba malako akaserengeto n'okuma n'olumba. Of course, that works with manual cars. Mu CVT tokigezaako. The CVT car does overheat, you just stop. Mbamazeeyo. Abasinga ababadde bagira abadde ba engaging wano mu comments be bamu. Thank you very much, guys, for engaging. Moses Mob, salon business, I think, requires you to be with barber skills at least. Douglas Koma, Kasozi Isma. Guys, thank you very much. Abali Mukamoli, I don't take it for granted. The guys that are watching this broadcast later, thank you very much. Mbajukiza, I already did a review of the Ipsam. So the video Ipsam wejja. I'm going to do a review on the Chikumi. Kumi ezemoroke nkadeze zaba mufuna mpola ngenda zikolako nazo. Nyinayo ne Chikumi. Guys, our project car is going to be sold on auction. Tugenda jitu project car ngendo kola. I'm going to document the entire processing and call it Morokeyo. Stitching the interior, working on the engine, and all, even before we buy it, I'm going to document the entire process. I've called brokers already. They are getting me that car that I'm going to do. Ngenda jikola all the way. Buli chimu tugenda chikolanga muchiraba. Customization. And at the end of the day, we will sell it on auction on 30th August. Yes. Tugenda jitu auction wano omuntu ajjajewa angulira ajivuga ajijewa na ajitwale tugenda jikola bizungu. Guys, yeah, we have a broadcast, Kasozi, you're new. We have a broadcast every day, Monday to Friday in the morning, 7:25 to 7:30 when Tandikira, normally depending on how late Mama Aban is. But we also have a weekend broadcast every evening, 5:15 p.m. Zas David Klaje VIP. Me. Now, guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. I'll see you tomorrow. May the good Lord bless you. Ciao, ciao.